This is episode 370, recorded August 5th, 2016. Packard Pokes At. Make Donald Drumpfh Again. I want to thank the real Paul Marshall from the chat room for this week's show title.
What time is it? It's Packard Pokes At time. Hat? Check. Shirt? Check. Pants? Optional. Mug? Double check. Check us out at cafepress.com/PackardPokesAt where you can get all this great merchandise and more.
Do you like Packard Pokes At and want to hear it on demand and on the go? Download the free app today at Stitcher.com. Available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
This is Packard Pokes At, and I'm poking at your news. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another fine edition of Packard Pokes At. I am your immutable and unmutable host, Packard Sonic, and joining me tonight from the far south of me is Tom, the atheist on. Tom Leeds.
That would be me. Hello.
And joining us from the far east coast is Paul Torville.
Hello.
And also joining us for our special guest host tonight is Aaron Sharp. I got it right.
Hooray.
And he's
Thanks a lot for having me on, Packard.
You're welcome. And he's from the far, far north out in Canada. So he's in the mountain time. Can you actually see any mountains there, by the way?
No, where I used to live in Calgary, you could see the mountains like from my house, but where I live now, you can't see.
Oh, okay. We call those hills out here.
Ah.
We have a major clusterfuck called the GOP. And they decided to put a very Cheeto person as their representative and to potentially run the country, Donald Drumpfh. Some people hate it when I say that, but fuck off.
No, he should be called that.
He should be called that because that's what his original name, and he let everybody know that. That aside, the GOP...
It's fitting.
It is more fitting. The GOP is now, after the fact, having a little buyer's remorse. It's like, we're going to get Trump in there, and they're going to take down Hillary, and then Trump has diarrhea of the mouth.
It's like we've given him the candidacy. Why doesn't he shut up already?
Yeah, he doesn't know how to shut up. There's a little filter in people's brains like, this is the time to shut up, this is the time to speak. And his is turned off or is broken off. I don't know which.
You know, I think it's partly tactical, really. Like he every time he says something crazy and irrational, he ends up on the news, so he gets free publicity the entire time.
That's
Only
true.
up until now, it's really been hurting him, right?
Right, exactly. Just in the last day, not even a day, he went off in so many different tangents. He attacked a dead veteran on top of that, his family. Yep. And the Trump supporters are saying, oh, he's a Muslim Brotherhood or whatever like that. And since now they're having buyer's remorse, I watched The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and he showed this clip just recently, it was on last night, that apparently, and they accidentally let this slip out, that they might be grooming Paul Ryan from Wisconsin to kind of scoot in if they decide to get Trump out. They're going to try to convince him to try to convince him to get out. Now, they can't force him out unless Trump dies or he quits on his own, but he has to do it before September, early September, in order to get him onto the ballot. And what's really interesting here is the fact is that Ryan was not elected. He could take all the electoral votes that went to Trump, and they would automatically go to Ryan without question. Tom, your thoughts?
Well, I still say Trump is just thinking, what the hell do I got to say to get these people to stop voting for me?
Something rational.
Oh, yeah. It's like, yeah, oh, by the way, everybody, I actually do support abortion rights. That might do it.
Global warming is true and everybody should have equal rights. Oh, fuck him. Fuck him. Get away from me.
I'm just waiting for him to bite the head off a chicken.
Oh, yeah.
That'll just get him more votes.
Oh,
He'll get
look
the
what it
Marilyn
did for
Manson
look
crowd.
at it did for Ozzy Osbourne. Paul, your thoughts?
I posted a thing on Facebook a couple of days ago, or maybe it was this morning. I don't know. It's been a long day. About I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this turned out to be a long con. Like, the Illuminati picked him 50 years ago and has been crafting his public image all this time so that they could defeat Hillary Clinton. And like, it's like the middle of the film in Meaning of Life. There's a zipper in the middle of his head, and he just pulls the zipper down, and out steps Terry Gilliam in a white suit.
He's gonna be
Welcome to the middle of the film.
World's longest con.
Although he has been
the lizard people.
Yeah. The lizard people. All right, everybody, put your tinfoil hats on.
Yeah. No joke.
No.
Yeah. Because that eyeball on your dollar bill is watching you.
Yes, that's why I don't use cash anymore. I use, credit
See somebody
cards.
in the bushes? There's somebody in the bushes. I see him there.
Aaron, your thoughts?
Packard, it's complete nonsense. First of all, if they were to put somebody like Paul Ryan or any other person onto that GOP ticket aside from Trump, that would be political suicide for their party. They would lose the election without any chance, without any question whatsoever. They would lose the election. Reason being is that the people were the ones that voted Trump in. The establishment never really wanted Trump in there in the first place. He ended up getting a lot of free media attention because he was constantly saying ridiculous, crazy things, and it ended up getting him a whole lot of eyeballs all over his campaign. But the second that you start mentioning that you want to put somebody in there that's not him, that's not the person that the people elected to have go in there, then the people are going to lose their minds. They're not going to be having any of it. And even though I hate Trump and I think that he's a repulsive, crazy person who says the right thing on the TPP, surprisingly, even though I think all those things, I still think that if that is who the people decided to choose, then that's who the people should get for their president if elected.
Right. And no, I agree. And this is apparently the dropping out part. That has happened before when another crazy billionaire...
Not Ross Perot.
No, yeah, it was Perot. No, yeah, it was Perot. He was right up there, and then he dropped out, so that left room for the... whoever went to fill in for him, I think it was Bush at that time, but he kind of stole all the votes from Bush, so Bush had basically nothing left after that point. So
you're talking about the Bush the Elder.
Yeah, Bush the Elder, yeah. It was just the fact that Trump is still in the game. I agree with you, Aaron, that if anybody tries to usher him out to install Lion Ryan, the Trump supporters are just going to go apeshit. And
you know what? Not only the Trump supporters, I think that everybody should really go apeshit about that, because that's basically undermining democracy.
Mm-hmm. It is
forcibly. But the thing is that you can't get Trump to leave. The only way that he can be taken out of that ticket is if, like you said, if he dies or he resigns himself or something like that.
Right.
That's the only way that you can take him out of there. So as it stands right now, and after reading the news article about this, I think that it's total hokum. It's not. It's so far from the realm of possibility. But the thing is that with this election, things that seem like they are out of the realm of possibility tend to be what happens. So it's really tough to say. Would they try to force Trump out? Well, it makes a lot of sense. It depends on if Trump wants to play nicey nice with the big money donors.
Yeah, well, that's if he wants to. I mean, and you kind of put a pin on there too. That if the fact is that I don't think they can actually push him out. I mean, they literally can't at this point, but they can. I'm sure they can try to coerce him somehow. I don't know what they could do to blackmail him with. I mean, this is because I'm not saying the GOP would do that.
That would be evil.
Oh,
but the fact is, though, the guy is so toxic anyway. I don't think that even if they came up with something to say, if you don't do this thing, then we will expose you for doing this. I don't think he would even fucking care. He'd probably go, oh, you have a picture of my wife fucking 5 guys? Well, let me release those videos myself. ahead of time. They just leaked. I don't know.
Well,
Didn't the New York
really
Daily
the
News
problem with
just
the whole
post
thing is that
on their front page a picture of Melania Trump in a girl-on-girl
Yes.
thing?
Yeah. I've seen that picture. You know, the thing is, personally, I wouldn't care. Honestly, for me, it's a non-issue, except for the fact that he is representing a family values party, family value party, and they don't like the whole girl-on-girl, boy-on-boy thing.
No. But it's not only about the family values thing either. It also, on top of that, has to do with real legitimate laws that may have been broken from her being there. I was reading the other day that apparently her having those pictures released, they were from 1994 or something like that.
95,
she legally apparently didn't come to the country until 1995. A bunch of people investigated it and found out that she may not even be in the country legally.
Right.
And so now everybody's using that as momentum to be like, oh, well, now we have something real against Trump, and we're going to be able to use this information to finally be able to stop him. And no, it's not going to.
No, it won't work.
I don't care. Okay, so she might be illegal or whatever. First of all, Trump's going to fight that. She's not like a visible minority or anything like that. So it's not like people are going to be clamping at the bit saying that, oh, well, she shouldn't be welcomed in America. Even if you are a visible minority, most people shouldn't be saying that. But, obviously, like people like Hispanics and stuff like that, they end up getting labeled to be more often than not asked to leave, basically, however it works. But the thing is that Donald Trump is basically Teflon. All of this stuff is just going to bounce right off of him. And earlier when you were saying, what does he have to say to get him kicked out of the race? What he has to say, and I was kind of joking, but at the same time I was kind of serious, is that he might actually have to say something reasonable, because right now the people that are latching on to what he's saying are inherently unreasonable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They do not listen to reason on any topic. So maybe to actually get him kicked out, he has to do something totally rational that makes 100% sense. And then people will look at him and be like, well, fuck this guy. I'm not having anything to do with this rational bastard. Fuck you with your logic and reason.
I say that he's going to come out as an atheist. That'll be his death knell.
I think that would be the only way.
I'm an atheist.
Yeah, I think that would be the only way that they would say, "Oh, you know what? Suddenly, I don't want to vote for Trump."
Can they keep him? I don't want him. I don't want him in my group.
Yeah,
I think the Christians can keep him.
I think you guys are forgetting one important factor, though.
What's that?
Donald Trump is very deeply involved with the construction industry.
Yes.
And all of his hotels generate waste. Now, if there's one segment of society that has deep ties with New York and New Jersey concrete and trash hauling, it would be that organization that makes offers that people can't refuse.
True.
And I would not be a bit surprised if somebody came along and told this crime boss or that crime boss, look, this guy needs to go away. And the next thing you know, they're building a new stadium, and where's Donald Trump?
Well, we haven't had an assassination in a long time, so we're due.
That's also assuming that Donald Trump's not working with them. I mean, and all of the evidence seems to be pointing in the opposite direction. Back in the 90s, he constantly was working along with the mob to be able to do a lot of his a lot of his building contracts. So. Like I know that what you're saying is kind of in jest, but it's actually like that's the problem with this whole situation is that it reminds me of like Poe's Law or whatever. Yeah. But like now instead of like just trolls on the internet, you have a troll actually running for president and winning.
Yeah,
he's fucking tied. At least as far as a couple of days ago, he was fucking tied with Hillary Clinton. And I don't think that Hillary Clinton is a reasonable candidate either, but they were tied, and that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
because Donald Trump is a reality show host.
Yeah,
he has absolutely no reason to be anywhere close to the presidential election. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
anyway. He shouldn't really be allowed to vote.
I was going to say if they're going to,
let alone be voted for.
Yeah, I was going to say if it turns out that even though his wife is illegal and she did some illegal things and she does get deported, maybe we can deport Trump to go with her. I don't know. Can we do that?
Well, this is wife number what? 3, 4?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. So I can't see him shedding a single tear over just another
True.
wife going away.
True.
But you know what? I think that his hair plugs are from China, so I think that he can probably get some back to China.
Well, he'll probably say, "Wait, if you deport her, do I have to pay her? I don't have to pay her. Bye-bye." I think his sense of reality is so skewed. He actually thinks the presidential election is a reality TV show.
I think you're
it's not that he
probably not
thinks
far
that,
off the
it's
mark
that
there.
It's always been that way for years and years now, ever since the presidential elections have been starting to be televised. They've become more and more Hollywood than they have been any kind of political forum.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can see it in every president leading up from what was it, JFK, I think, was the first one that was on TV, maybe a little bit before.
Yeah, it was Kennedy, Nixon, and
or sorry, Kennedy, yeah. So and you can see that all throughout from that time till now, the mediaification or pop culturizing of politics that's happened. To the point of where, like I said, like now the internet is the biggest thing, and what is the person that is running for president? He's the guy that's going to send you a meme that says, "You mad, bro?"
Yeah, exactly. And tonight we have our guest host from YouTube, and that is Aaron Sharp. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, man.
You're welcome. I have a few questions I'd like to ask you, and then I will turn the questions over to the audience as and my co-hosts here. Were you ever religious, and how did you come to your non-belief?
No, I actually never was religious. My little brother was a little bit. See, it was kind of interesting. When I was growing up, my family never actually talked a whole lot about religion or politics. And later on in life, I actually asked my dad why. I'm like, why did you guys never bring that stuff up? Mm-hmm. And he said, well, you were too young to understand what any of it meant, so I didn't think that it was important for me to discuss it with you.
Wow, good dad.
So I thought that was a great thing. We were kind of left to just make those decisions up for ourselves. So I remember a lot of times laying in bed at night, and we had a bunk bed. This is when we were like 5 years old, 6 years old, or something like that. And we had bunk beds. My little brother had the bottom bunk. And just as we'd go to bed at night, he would pray every single night. Nobody ever asked him to or anything like that. He just thought it was a necessary thing to do. And, just laying there in bed thinking about it. And I was really young at the time. Like, who knows? Like, he was probably 6, so I guess I was probably 8. And I just learned that Santa Claus wasn't a real thing, and I was still listening to him pray, and my parents were like, hey, don't tell him that Santa Claus isn't a real thing. So it's like almost cliche how it ended up making me kind of like dissuaded against the whole idea of God, because I just lay there and be like, okay, so if God can hear and see everything that happens, why would you need to pray?
Right.
Like why would you? I've never seen anybody else that can fly, and Santa Claus doesn't exist, and he's the only one that I've ever heard that could fly. So I'm fairly sure that God can float or do whatever he does.
Yeah.
So all of those kinds of, because as soon as that skepticism seed is planted, it almost starts to snowball.
Yeah.
After a little while, and you'll notice that with people that are recently converting from theism to atheism, is that they'll go through a myriad of different phases, and the God claim, or specifically one religion, to believing in something a little bit less, maybe a little bit more spiritual. Maybe they'll just be a deist at that point, and so on until they're full on atheist, and then there's the whole gambit of emotions that go along with that. But you can actually see with a lot of people that it ends up just snowballing, and that's the same thing for me. By the time I was like 12 or 15 or something like that, I was full out atheist, and I didn't believe any of it, and I thought it was all ridiculous.
Well, at least you had a family that wasn't going to say, oh, well, you don't believe in God, we're just going to come down on you like a ton of bricks. At least you didn't have that.
that was one place where I was actually really lucky, and I know that a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
And that's really sad. And the main thing is that if you live in a household, and every atheist that I know has always said this, if you live in a household where you're still dependent on your parents, and they are taking care of you, and they would be angry if they found out that you were an atheist, and they would possibly disown you or kick you out of the house or anything like that, then you have to work under completely different rules. You have to make sure that you are doing the things that make sure that you don't lose your house, because that's the main thing that is important. And after you're able to move out and be on your own, be autonomous and everything like that, then that's the time when you should be able to go out and declare that you're an atheist to the world and not have to worry about it, even though, you could probably get fired from your job.
No, I agree. I agree. We have to live in the closet, as it were, because the fact is that people don't want to accept that. The fact is, like, oh my God, you don't believe in my magic sky wizard for no reason, just like the reason I do. And they just can't wrap their heads around that.
Yeah, it's really difficult. And for a lot of people, like, it's been bred into them since they were little kids. Like, for a lot of other people, it's what's most comforting. Like, I don't usually slight anybody for believing in ridiculous things if they haven't had the time to, like, rationally think them out. The people that bother me the most when it comes to religious nutters is the ones that have had the time to rationalize, or have had the time to understand the counter arguments and have found time to rationalize it to themselves. Those are the people that I not necessarily fear, but dislike, or at least I dislike the way that they think.
Yeah, no, I get that. I have no problem with people believing whatever they want as long as they don't push it on people. And you also put it nicely that basically if you're living at home and you have a family that's very religious and you don't believe, you're better off to hide from that for right now until you can get out on your own.
I wouldn't like to use the word hide, but yeah, I guess that it would be a type of hiding. At least it's just making sure that your ass is covered, basically.
Yeah, it's protection.
But when you said that you don't think that they're as long as they're not trying to push it on you, they can believe whatever they want. I don't agree with that, actually.
Oh, really?
I think that you should strive, and I mean, like, you can't legislate this or anything like that. But I believe that you should strive to believe as many true things and as few false things as possible. Just like Matt Delahunt always says. The reason being is that anytime that you believe something irrational for bad reasons, you are likely to make decisions based on those beliefs.
No, that's very true.
And the last thing that I want is people voting in the name of some kind of deity that is patently false.
Oh, no, I get that. I mean, I meant in the context, as long as what you're believing doesn't hurt anybody. I mean, if you believe in a sky monkey if you want to, as long as you don't force it on me, I really don't care. But don't take it to
leave your politics out of it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Don't push it into our schools, our government, and places like that.
If every religion was like that, I would want to keep every single one of them, because really, by that point, then it's just but still at the same time, I hate the idea of people believing dumb things for bad reasons. It just that's something that's always bothered me, and that's part of the reason why I even started the YouTube channel in the first place, is because it's not necessarily like I want to stop people from that, but I want to do as much as I can to dissuade them from being in that headspace.
Yeah, you actually went into my next question. What made you decide to get into making YouTube videos?
Oh man, I've been making YouTube videos since like 2006. I had a channel back then. I actually kind of made a video a little bit touching on this. I made a channel back in 2006 until 2012, I want to say, and I made all kinds of different videos. I worked really hard on it, and I didn't get anywhere with it really. And after a while, it just became infeasible, and I just stopped working with it. A lot of the content was good, and I actually uploaded some of it to my new YouTube channel now, the Deadhead Animation. But what made me start doing the Deadhead Animation channel is long conversations that me and two of my friends used to always have, because we worked together, and we had a lot of time where we'd just be walking back and forth through this yard, and we'd just talk about what we would do while making a cartoon, and we worked it all out. We watched a lot of like tutorial videos, and and like bought tons and tons of DVDs, like cartoon DVDs, like Animaniacs and stuff like that, and watched like the behind the scenes footage and everything, so as that we could get like all of the information that we could find out about how to do animation and all that kind of stuff. And then after a while, I had all this stuff just sitting on my computer, and I'm like, I have to do something with this. It's important to me. So finally, I just released a couple of videos, and then that's how that started.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I pimped it out to everybody that I knew, and hassled people maliciously.
You kind of have to. It's like, hey, you have to kind of beat down the door. It's like, hey, take a look at this.
Yeah, no, totally. Because the problem with a lot of YouTube is that it's incredibly hard to find new content, right? Like the smaller YouTubers, they are so mauled down by this huge weight of other videos that are on top of them, of like the huge others, the huge channels, and also like just millions and millions of smaller channels. A lot of gaming channels and movie review channels end up falling into this problem where they'll have really good content, but they'll never get any views. So they'll never get popular, and then a lot of them will end up having to quit. Yeah. So you basically like what I do is I take the old school method of just banging on doors. Go knock on a whole bunch of doors and go tell anybody that you can about it. Send out electronic flyers everywhere you can.
I would put up a billboard, but I don't have that kind of cash.
Totally.
I have a quick question regarding your animation. On some of your videos, like you have a 2-minute segment there. How long does it take you to animate just like 2 minutes of video, just for the
so 2 minutes 2 minutes of video? I have streamlined my process so much, and I cut a lot of the wasted time that I would have before. So now for like a 2-minute long video, I think that I could probably get it done in probably about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, something like that. But that's a far cry from what it was when I first started, like even 11 months ago. It would take me easily. I said it in one of the videos before, but I can't remember exactly what it was. Something like 48 hours. Wow. So like 8-hour days, however many days a week, to be able to get done one video that was like 5 minutes of animation. I was also trying for a lot more complicated stuff then, and like kind of biting off a little bit more than I could chew. But but now the process is so streamlined that it takes not very much time.
Well, that's good at least. I have another question here. What's one of the other video channels out there that you really like, that you think you should tell people about? So you're just like, we're kind of passing it forward there, as I said.
Where can I start? Oh man, there are so many. Okay, so one channel that's bigger than mine that everybody should go check out is Smells Like E Minor. That guy is probably like one of my best friends online. You guys got to go check him out. He's awesome. A couple of more people. There's Chrisiosity. She is. I really hope that I'm saying that right, because I have a tendency to read names improperly. Chrisiosity. Check her out. No More Dogma. I don't agree with him on virtually like 90% of the things that he says, but he is super rational and willing to be up for a debate with anybody at any time, and I really enjoy that about him. Who else? Dark Ram 6.
Oh yeah,
he's awesome. Skeptical Unchild. I did a video with him as well. He's awesome. Oh man, there are so many good ones. I know I'm missing. Pure Carbon is great. I know I'm missing a bunch of people, but like there are so many that I just can't name them all right off the top of my head.
Oh sure.
Hey, any one of you guys that's out there that I'm missing, I'm sorry. I meant to say your name, but I fucking spaced that on a live show.
These are questions that he did not have time to prepare for, so we're testing his mental acuity right now.
That's right.
I have one more question here. What do you do outside of your YouTube persona? Do you have like a job? Do you hunt mountains? What do you do?
Actually, I do all those things. I have a job. I work in a kitchen. I used to be a construction worker. I did that for 11 years. then I also hunt, I fish, I go camping, long walks on the beach.
Really, tell me more.
Not super big into anal, but I'm open for suggestion.
Call me later.
I will.
$4.99 for the first minute.
It's a little much. I like them cheap.
It's worth every penny, I swear. Anyway.
Call me now. Speaking of call me now, Miss Cleo's dead.
Is
I don't
she?
mean to derail the conversation, but...
Did she die recently?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
To death.
You think she saw that coming?
I doubt it. I doubt it. I'll have to look that up. I was unaware that she just recently passed away. So
Yeah, it was all over the Faces book.
Oh, I did. Shit. See where I've been to the last 24 hours.
Yeah, well, you got a life to lead, Cha-Cha.
Yeah, that's just true. I have a life outside of Facebook and everywhere else. Tom, do you have any questions for Aaron?
Why do you work so hard?
Why do I work so hard? At my job or at this channel? I work super hard at this channel because I want people to enjoy what I'm putting out. And I think that whenever somebody puts a lot of effort and a lot of work into whatever they're doing, I think that people see that and it registers with them. And I think that it makes them want to see more of the content. I just generally think that if you put 110% into anything that you do, people will, for the most part, be attracted to that.
Yeah.
It's all a marketing strategy.
That doesn't
That's all
explain.
it is. It's a marketing strategy.
It doesn't explain this channel, though. I put a lot into this channel. I put a lot of work into this channel. A lot of editing goes into this channel, too. So.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that how much work it is behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Even putting out a regular video where you're just putting up a couple of pictures that you source from Google Images or whatever can take fucking all day.
Yeah.
Like it's a super complicated thing. It's super difficult. You have to learn lots of different programs. Audiences are fickle. If you have a few minutes of dead time, people aren't going to enjoy it, and they're going to walk away.
Yeah.
If you and especially nowadays, back in 2006 to 2012, back in older YouTube time, you didn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. You could put out a sound, rational, logical argument and put out a 3-hour-long video, and you'd have fucking everybody watching the damn thing and just taking notes. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, you have to say something completely irrational, or else nobody's going to listen to you.
Or put a cat video up.
Or put a cat video up, or whatever.
Breathing.
Right? So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. People
breathing.
We don't breathe
Cut
here.
out every breath.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I do that.
Oh.
I actually, no, I do that. I do that, too. Yeah, I cut out the breaths.
Yeah.
So
you people don't understand what we go through for you.
They don't. They really don't.
Just love us.
See, now I feel bad because I own YouTube channel, and I phone it in. I spend 5 minutes on video, 5 minutes on editing, and up it goes. But I talk really fast, so there is no breathing and there's no dead air.
Tom doesn't breathe.
One cut.
Tom doesn't breathe. He said he's like, shit, I'll breathe on the weekend.
That's it. I'll breathe when I'm dead.
Tom, did you have any other questions for Aaron?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Paul, do you have any questions for Aaron?
Yes, I do. So you're Canadian?
Yeah, man.
No, actually, I don't.
Wait a minute, he's Canadian? Shit, we got to start this over again now.
The thing with the animation now, it looks like to me, and maybe I have eye trouble. I don't know. I don't want to get you in any kind of difficulty, but it looks to me like your characters in the videos that I've seen look an awful lot like Lego characters, Lego people.
What?
Yeah, I know. I was on a train all day.
You do know
I could be hallucinating.
No, I don't really see the resemblance. I know that
Okay.
I have a mini block figurine as my avatar picture, but as far as any of the content goes, I don't really use them that much. I do have an anthropomorphic character that is like a small plastic toy. with hooks for hands that has jaundice and wears a tiny little yellow fez on the top of his head.
Okay. Right.
Like, I really don't see how anybody could mistake that for being what did you call it? Lego?
Yeah, I think it's Laotian. But anyway,
sure it's not Duplo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
hey,
the reason I bring that
whatever.
up,
I honestly I can't see any possible legal repercussions from this whatsoever.
It's just me. I hit my head before I came on. But the reason I bring that up is one of the things that I bumped into when I was doing News Undies is I was completely paranoid about even the appearance of horking anybody else's content.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it's a photograph or whether it's a piece of music or a piece of video or whatever. I got so spooked by the whole DMCA thing that it was like, well, my theme music, I wrote and performed my theme music myself. The background photo on the set, I shot that thing and I took it to Staples and I had a banner printed. You know, it was just like the whole thing was me. And it's like I see other people using content that I understand that, you know, there's fair use and all these other kinds of things. But if a content owner gets a wild hair up their butt, you know, they can just DMCA you. And I wonder if that's anything that you've ever thought about or is anything that you've dealt with?
Yeah, you know what? A lot of problems can arise from using copywritten material, and anybody who's out there who wants to make new videos or anything like that, a good idea is to always stick with your own original content and never using anybody's copywritten material. That is an absolute must. And I would never tell anybody that they should go out and use anybody else's content.
At least not without permission.
Theoretically, anyway. If somebody was to use somebody else's content, all kinds of things end up happening. So say if you use a piece of music that is copywritten or something like that, a lot of the times you can end up getting basically demonetization on a video, stuff like that. So on my channel, what I tend to do is a lot of the time I will ask whatever artist it is that made whatever thing that I'm using and find out if I can actually use it. A lot of things do fall under fair use because my channel is a purely satirical channel. Well, not purely, it's a satirical channel. It also can fall under journalism to a certain extent. So as far as my channel goes, I'm pretty well covered under fair use for a lot of things, but that doesn't necessarily mean everything. So recently I was using, well, actually since, like I said, 2006, I've been using this same score that I had thought, and I thought I had looked it up and I thought I had researched it. I was positive, at least in my mind, that the score that I was using, Aaron Copland's Rodeo Hoedown, was in the public domain. I thought that it had been for a long, long time. And it wasn't up until just like a month ago that I ended up starting to get demonetization on a bunch of my videos because of it. And once I found that out, as soon as I find out that the material was copywritten or whatever, then I just obviously just take it out of the video or however it works, right? So, or
your monetization,
contact the holder of the DMC or of the thing. Sorry, what was that?
Your monetization, it's what's for dinner.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, they used that hoedown on the beef council.
Oh yeah.
I'm taking it back. No, nobody else remembers that though. Talking about the internet generation, and that's like an old TV commercial. Yeah. Nobody has any idea.
Wait a minute. Write this down. TV. I mean, television.
They're like books.
They're like books with pictures, moving pictures.
But like they have moving pictures.
You know that
I hear that they work through a series
that used to be used for other things.
Yeah, Paul, did you have any other questions?
Is that a reference to masturbation?
No, Netflix.
Netflix.
Gaming.
Same thing.
The gaming screen.
Because to be fair, everything is a reference to masturbation.
Yes. Donald Trump, doubly so.
You know what the best part about Donald Trump is?
What's that?
tiny hands make it look huge.
Huge.
They make huge.
Makes it look huge.
So, I actually have another question for Aaron.
Sure.
And I hope this doesn't open a can of worms or send us down a rabbit hole. But what's your primary animation tool? What do you use?
I would like to keep that undisclosed.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was actually going to ask the same question. What do you use to edit your shows with?
If anybody really wants to find out any of that kind of information, I'd rather discuss it in a private forum.
Sure.
Like
Sure.
that.
Cool.
Just because I don't really want to get into the whole thing behind it, but
Sure.
yeah.
No
So,
worries. Pirate Bay. Sorry.
I withdraw the question.
again, never use copyrighted material, never pirate software, never do anything bad, stay straight and narrow, keep your nose clean, stop being such a terrible person.
IKEA puppets.
Thanks for coming, everybody. No.
And that's the show.
Does anybody have any last questions for Paul? We have some questions from the chat room here.
What are your
Questions
hope
for
and
Aaron?
aspirations for your channel?
Yeah, that's a good question.
To be bigger than PewDiePie, man.
Oh, there you go.
I'm coming for him. He's going down.
I've heard of him. Actually, I've never seen any of his work. I don't understand why he's so popular. I've never.
That's the
actually
funny
seen
thing
his
too
work.
is that I've never actually seen one of his videos. I'm not sure if anybody actually has. We should ask. Has anybody out there actually seen a PewDiePie video? I think that this is bullshit.
That would
I
be.
don't even think he's a real person. He's probably a reptilian. It's like Donald Trump. And
It's all clickbait.
He's all clickbait. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. Well, we have some questions from the chat room here. From Poisoning the Well. Thank you for your question.
Hey, what's up, guys?
He says, "How bad did Fat Pat pawn your Twitter, deadhead?"
Oh, no. Don't you be starting shit in this chat room too, man. I will come down there. I don't know exactly where you guys live, but I will find your house with my satellite surveillance systems, and I will destroy your entire world.
We're moving the Hubble.
The end of Poisoning the Well has cometh. Their destruction is nigh.
I do want to say also something else. I did want to say the voice that you use for your character, it fits your character very well.
Oh, thanks. I always, I'm really glad when people say that. Most of the time, people say, "Why the fuck did you do such a squeaky, girly voice? It sounds terrible. Stop making videos."
Oh, fuck those people.
Fuck those guys.
Yeah, fuck those people. They don't know what they're talking about. I think it adds to it. I mean, every character has to have its own unique voice, and I think your character is a very neat. There you go. Paul's very good with that too. So,
yeah, and you know what? With a lot of the content that I do, I think it's better to use a character. I think that, and me and a friend of mine, Jason Harding, talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how?
Friend of the show, by the way.
Sorry,
he's a friend of the show, by the way. We've had him on.
Oh, right on. Yeah, Jason's the shit. Shout out to Jason.
Yep.
Yeah, me and him have talked about this before, and a lot of YouTube seems like, even when people are being 100% genuine, a lot of the time they just seem like they are actually putting on an act or being more hyperbolic about things than they actually need to be. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of even seen that a little bit when I've been talking to more YouTubers as my channel is starting to gain momentum. I've started to talk to more YouTubers, and I kind of even see it just from talking to them directly and then watching their channel. There's this bit of a divide, right? So a lot of YouTube, in my opinion, tends to be fucking full of shit. So in my case, it's a lot like a magic act with me, right? I'm not sitting here saying that 100% of the things that I'm saying are what I necessarily believe. Sometimes I blow things out of proportion. Sometimes I make an ass out of myself, and that's not necessarily how I would act or what I would say in real life or anything like that. But I'm going to tell you that up front instead of making people have the idea that what I'm saying is genuine and from and 100% always from a real place, and not once in a while just pandering or trying to do something to attract views. Though I do things to attract views. I have absolutely no qualms with putting a thumbnail with a big pair of titties in it. That does not bother me.
I'll have to start remembering to do that. Just put titties on every one of them.
Dude, titties everywhere. It always works. Put a couple of, muscular Johnsons in the picture. That works sometimes.
I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start putting stuff up behind me, or just pictures of women just bouncing or something, I guess. I don't know. If that's what it takes.
That's a great idea. You want to bring in the women? Just put up, like, Magic Mike. Just, like, don't even bother putting your face up there at all. Just have, like, him do that dance routine and just play it in a loop. And you'll get, like, tons of women all through your chat, man. It works every time.
Okay.
Was I answering a question? Because I totally forgot what it was.
You were, but we were kind of sidelined.
What was the question again?
I have no idea.
The real Paul Marshall asks, and thank you for your question, is where do you buy your hats?
My hats?
Yes, because your Darwin hat is awesome.
You know what? There's a lot of places. I go to Russell's Chapeau and Humidoratorium. I sometimes get it from the Mad Haberdashery.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of places. Just Google image search hats, and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find all of my hats on the very first page.
There you go.
A lot of in-depth research and time has been put into the hat finding on this channel. It's one of my more important. It's one of the more important things on the channel is the hats.
Yeah, well, hats were invented to keep people from showing their baldness. Of course,
that's true. And just think, like, there are famous hats out there. Make America Great hat. That's a famous hat.
Yes, it is.
Made
in China.
It was made in China.
Evilness asks, and thank you for your question, is it hard being plastic puns? LOL.
Oh, only when your mom comes over.
Oh,
bam!
That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. It was just you set me up for it, and then I knocked it down.
The real Paul Marshall asks, use pics of etc. Gumblebits. I have no idea who that is.
What the fuck? What did I just have an acid flashback? What the hell just happened?
I don't know what that even is.
Gumblebliss?
Gollum-bits. I don't know what that is.
Okay. Ask away. What's the question?
That's what it was. It says use pics of Electra Gumblebits. I have no idea who that even is. Evilness says my mom is a whore. It's okay. So.
Dude, that's what she
said.
Very nice lady.
That's what she said. I'm just reading exactly what she wrote.
Holy crap!
Might have been
She's a
naughty
sweet
bit.
and caring woman.
An autocorrect.
He does want to know. Paul Marshall does ask, have you ever heard of Douglas Adams? Maybe he's asking me. I've heard of Douglas Adams. Yes. 42. Okay.
Thanks for all the fish.
Thanks for all the fish. Okay, yeah. I didn't recognize the name. It's been a while since I've read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, I've never read it.
Douglas
I'm not a fan of books.
Yeah.
A book?
A book? A book?
What is a book?
Book. It's like a non-digital thing. It has words on it.
I read one of these
a Kindle with pages.
one time, and it was called 1984. Ever since then, I've been sitting inside of my living room with a pike guarding the door.
A smoking pipe or like a lead pipe?
No, I said a pike, but you know what?
Pike.
Both.
To put their,
all three
put
of
their
those
heads
things.
It's a Canadian thing.
It's a Canadian thing. I got my moose. I got my toque.
Yeah,
Put my Chesterfield against the door. Sit on the roof.
Evilness wants to know why you haven't taken her out on a date yet.
I'm sorry. When are you free? I'm super busy right now as I'm about to get married in next month. But I don't see a reason why.
That's
I don't
terrible.
see a reason why that would stop us going on a wonderful date.
Yeah, I think she was referring to her mom. When you said yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds kind of weird. I don't know if all three of us should go on a date together, unless my wife comes along. Then it's a party.
That's true. That's
a
true.
4-person threesome?
Exactly, a 4-person threesome. You got it, man.
That's like my band.
That's a sweet name for a band.
My band is Cranston's biggest 6-piece one-man band.
I'm gonna. Paul said. Paul saying I'm reading everything in the chat room, and yes, I am, and I will. And Evil says, "Let's make this super awkward." She's got huge tits.
So do I.
I should say motorboat.
We have something in common. That's the thing. Every time you see a picture of titties on the thumbnails of my videos, they're mine.
Sweet.
Think one more question.
Okay, do you have any more?
What's the weather like in Canada?
Yeah, what is the weather like in Canada? Snow,
Hot
right?
as fuck right now. I have my air conditioner off so I can actually talk to you guys without having a whole bunch of background noise, and I'm dying, man.
Yeah.
It's like 32 degrees or something like that today, which is like pretty hot, but not like
Is that
Arizona
Celsius?
desert hot. So
Is that Celsius?
yeah, that's Celsius.
Okay, I was gonna say. Like 32 degrees. I mean,
I'm not going to sit here and hold your hand and change it to Fahrenheit for you. All right, I'm not going to do that. I think that people should be able to decide for themselves. I think that they can do it themselves.
Yes, it's all global climate change. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama. You bastard. So, is there any more questions?
Yeah, Evelyn says she's in Canada too. Didn't even get any snow this year. So.
Not all summer long. It's been pretty much snow free.
Yeah. I usually hear about that. You don't usually get snow in the summer.
No, actually, where I live in the Badlands in Alberta. So so it's like very. It's not like it's not like the Arizona desert or anything like that, but it is technically a desert where I live. So we end up getting super extreme weather. So in the wintertime, and I don't know what it would be in Fahrenheit because not that smart. But but in the wintertime, it can get all the way to minus 40 Celsius, and in the summertime, it can get to like 35 Celsius. So and that's a massive difference.
Oh yeah.
So. And like just being that I just moved here maybe only a few years ago, adjusting to that it's super difficult because you're never really that comfortable. You either have the heat blaring or you have your air conditioner on high, and if your air conditioner ever breaks, oh fuck, you might as well just kill yourself.
Oh yeah, no shit. I hear you. I live in a beer can. If I don't have air conditioner running,
really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Amazing. You must be tiny. Do you need a roommate?
Actually, I do.
I can't pay much as I constantly blow all of my money on ridiculous things.
I know. I saw that video with all the
My pyramid of jet skis.
Yeah,
true story. Actually, it's a true story.
Aaron, where can they find your channel?
You can find my channel at youtube.com/deadheadanimation. You can also check me out on Twitter at Lego Darwin, I believe it is. You can check out my Facebook. All this stuff is linked in the description on every single one of my videos. And I'm sure if you just punch in Lego Darwin into a Google search, I'm on at least the first or second page.
Yeah,
so,
I also have you on our screen as Professor Darwin.
Professor Darwin, there you go. That's the one.
Yeah.
And go check me out. I produce new videos every Monday, and and it's a lot of fun. I try to put as much effort into it for you guys, so you have a good time and you're entertained.
Yes, absolutely. Can you stick around with us for a little while longer?
I don't see why not.
All right, great.
Contact us by email at ppappodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter as at Packard Pokes At. Like us on Facebook.com/Packard Pokes At. Call our Google Voice and leave a message at 662-709-PPAP or 662-709-7727, and we will respond to it on the show. Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time. Join us live at vonlive.tv/Packard Pokes At. During the show, you can share your thoughts with us by calling 857-216-3200 using PIN number 35368, or on uberconference.com/Packard Pokes At. For links to the stories, visit our show page at packardpokesat.wordpress.com. You can help support the show by purchasing merchandise from cafepress.com/Packard Pokes At, or make a donation to the show at patreon.com/Packard Pokes At. If you can't afford any money, why not share the show with your friends and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spreaker, and on YouTube. For everyone that shares and rates us, you kick ass.
The Atheists,
The Bible.
and No Wardrobe, the podcast.
Wait a minute. No wardrobe? You mean we're going to be naked while we do this?
Well, seeing how I'm an atheist and I'm reading the Bible, and since clothes are flammable,
Fire! Fire! Fire!
I thought it might be a good idea to take them all off first.
Naked or not, follow along as we read, analyze, and try to keep you from falling asleep as we go through this boring-ass book.
Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spreaker. Who knows? We may even be on YouTube someday. Check out our second podcast, The Atheist, the Bible, and No Wardrobe. We're having a lot of fun with it.
Yes.
We actually had Tom on.
Yeah. I recommend that everyone read the Bible with a pal.
Yes, don't read it alone. Don't read it alone, especially if you're hearing voices in your head. And there's a lot of people in this Bible who are hearing voices in their head.
Take a buddy with you.
Yes.
You do not want to dive into that alone.
No, that book is full of crazy.
Take this. It's dangerous to go alone.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
cuckoo bananas.
It is. It really is. It's like, you don't go out drinking alone. You don't read the Bible alone. So
You don't drink alone?
I don't drink alone.
Oh. Me either.
George Thorogood and I drink alone together.
Well, they're not alone. Sort of.
I don't drink alone. I'm sure there's mice in my house.
Yeah.
Well, that counts. That counts.
My gut fauna and I get drunk together.
There you go. But don't Bible alone. Don't Bible alone. and read it for yourself, or listen to our secondary podcast, which you can find at abandnw.wordpress.com. There is some really weird ass shit, and we come across some really weird ass crap that stuff I didn't realize was in there just until recently. So, and I won't get into it because the revelation will just blow your mind. And I don't want everybody.
And I just painted this room.
Right, exactly. I don't want people's heads to explode.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
We kind of mentioned at the top of the show here that this election cycle has been incredibly weird, but it has opened a lot of doors for the Democrats, and not just people who are believers that are Democrats, but also atheists who are also Democrats. Over in Washington State, there's a woman, her name is Jennifer Golay. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I could be wrong. I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. She's running for Washington State House in District 9 in Position 1, and her primary position against two GOP opponents took place just recently, and she's getting ready to do battle with them in November. She did actually quite well. She came in second place out there, and the reason I bring that up is because she's an open atheist, and the fact is that an atheist can get into office anywhere nowadays is very difficult. But with the fact is that people like Donald Trump are getting out there and saying really ridiculous, crazy-ass shit, I have hopes that atheists can get in and say, hey, I don't believe in God. And so believers, they think that's the craziest shit ever. I mean, even far worse than anything Trump has said. But I'm so glad that we can get in there. Tom, your thoughts?
Well, we still need to destigmatize being an atheist.
Yes.
So the more people that just are willing to put themselves out there and say that they're running as an atheist. Steve Hill out in California, who's a comedian, He also ran basically as an open atheist. They may not get anywhere, but they're still kind of chipping away at the system, at normalizing the idea that politicians can be atheists.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Barney Frank. Barney Frank was an open homosexual, and they waited until he was out of office to admit he was an atheist.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is.
Yes.
And people should run for office as an open atheist with the clear understanding that they're not going to get elected. They should put no money into it. They should just put the name on the ballot and say, I'm an open atheist. I'm running for office.
Yeah. I would like to see more atheists run for office and bring some rationality to the parties everywhere. I mean, I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. If you're an atheist, just run. That's, try to bring some rationality to it. Did you have further comments there, Tom?
Just it's so frustrating that when somebody says they're an open atheist and it's like, oh my God, how can that be? We need to flood the system. I think everyone should have a YouTube channel. Not everyone should be working as hard as Scott, but should be putting it out there to normalize being atheist. Just put your name on the ballot and put your name like mine. I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist. I should shut up and I should run for office myself.
There you go. I vote for Tom.
Take my advice. I'm not using it.
Tom, if you run, I'll move to your district and I'll vote for you. And then I'll move back where I am.
I'm unemployed right now, so I've got time.
There you go. There you go.
Awesome.
Paul, what are your thoughts?
Well, the thing of it is, in more local politics, I think it's a lot easier for an atheist to run. So if you're running for a seat in the Washington State House, Washington, from what I understand, tends to be a little bluer.
Yeah.
And tends to be a little less religious. So I'm not as stunned by this, open atheist getting on the ballot thing.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
But, I do agree that it's the people who are walking around and being atheists and being disingenuous. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not Barack Obama is secretly an atheist.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And it's like, if he is, he needs to quit, covering it up and lying about it, especially now that he's a lame duck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are they going to do to him? Send him to a tugboat?
Yeah.
Come on, it's Muslim.
He even, and the thing is, though, he has to appoint somebody. I mean, for the Supreme Court, he has the job and the ability. Even though the Republicans keep saying, oh, he shouldn't be able to do that. It's like Reagan did it. What the fucking difference does it make? Because the fact is a black man would put somebody on the Supreme Court. That's the big problem here, I think. But you're right. He should come. If he is an atheist, he should come out. I mean, what more can they do to him? It's like, oh, we have to impeach him. Oh, no, you can't do that because it says in the Constitution that no religious test.
Right.
And that's what religious people can't wrap their minds around, is the fact is that just because you're an atheist doesn't mean you can't run for office. And in the states where they have these things where they say you can't run because you're an atheist, it's bullshit. You can run because the country's constitution supersedes state constitution, especially specific things like that.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with Tom when he was saying that we do need more atheists, and I totally agree. We need more atheists that are out talking about it. We need more atheists in government. We need more atheists that are out atheists in general, just so as that we can move that window over and have the lack of belief not only something that you hear about, but something that isn't something that you think about anymore. Right. A lot of the time, in most places in Canada, even where I live, which is more of the Bible Belty kind of part of Canada, there still being an out atheist. Like, yeah, people kind of like want to ask you questions, but there's not this outright vitriol that happens that here that is like that in the United States. And it goes without saying, like you have candidates such as Bernie Sanders who had the whole DNC email leak a couple of weeks ago, and they were saying that that they were going to try to smear him as being an atheist. Because right now, in the political landscape that is America today, being an atheist is the worst thing that you can do. It's worse than being Muslim. It's worse than being black. It's worse than being any other minority or any other thing. Being atheist is the one of the hardest hurdles to overcome, especially when you're going into government. And it basically marks political suicide. Like talk about like a recurring trend in this whole discussion is that this again is just, it would be political suicide for a person to come out as atheist, and that's why people like Barney Frank came out after he already left office. I didn't actually know that information off the top of my head. I'm just going by what you guys said. But yeah, I think that we need as many atheists as we possibly can. And it actually is kind of interesting because in the United States, there is, I think since they started tallying this kind of stuff, there's been less than 20 out atheists that have served in office. So, and that's in the United States. And considering your population, like that's like fucking nothing. But also like in Canada, there's only been 4.
Yeah. Well, some places take longer to catch up. I mean, maybe we get more
again,
later on.
It's population size and everything.
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
that's true. That's true.
Like we have about the same population as like a Los Angeles or something like that.
Yeah.
Or no, California.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Los Angeles. That'd be ridiculous.
One of the tough things, though, that I think is that historically atheists have not voted as a bloc.
Right.
Right. Christians can be relied upon to vote a certain way, more or less, and social justice folks can be relied upon to vote a certain way. Feminists can be relied upon to vote a certain way. Atheists is like herding cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they're so derisive. It's like herding cats. It's with all these other groups, they all have like this common specific cause to get behind. But atheists, I mean, other than I don't believe there's a God, there's nothing that binds us together.
Right.
No.
Well,
I think that's the most important part about the atheist community is that nothing actually does bind us together. Yeah. And going back again to those people I was showing out earlier, I was watching a video from No More Dogma the other day, basically saying that it's a really important thing that none of us do get along, or not necessarily even get along, because we do get some of us are able to get along with the other. But it's important to have all these kinds of discussions that people are having nowadays because this kind of stuff needs to be talked about. Not everybody else out there right now is talking about the kinds of things that we're having massive controversies about in our community, you know? So... I think that it's greatly important.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of controversy within the atheist community right now. But there is one thing that binds us all together, and it's the only thing, is that we just don't believe in a God or the God claim. Everything else, and I always put this out to people, I said, everything else is up for grabs. Evilness kind of pointed this out in the chat room. She says Australia has an atheist leader, and they censor the hell out of all the media. Atheist leaders don't always make everything better, sadly. Thing is, them being an atheist is completely irrelevant. It could just be his own personality. That's the reason why he's doing the certain things that he's doing is because of his own personality. We'll go back to Trump for a second. Look at the shit he's done. He said to the media outlets out there, he's done the same thing. I am a Christian, but I'm going to censor the media. So that him being Christian or this guy that's in Australia being an atheist, it's completely irrelevant. We might as well just say that everybody that has a mustache and that happens to be atheist is also bad too, or just men with mustaches, or just men for that matter.
Aren't we already saying that?
Yeah.
Where have I been?
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at these pictures, and I think we all fall in that category.
Yes, you know what? I think we all. As a matter of fact, we all have beards and mustaches.
Yeah.
Can't say for sure about Scott, but the little white guy.
Oh, you mean Aaron?
All right, huh?
It says Aaron, not Scott.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah, it's Aaron.
I was gonna say Scott who? Scott sounds
What show were you on,
Nothing
Tom?
matters.
How do I get on that show?
From earlier.
Now, Evilist does make a good point here. She just commented again here. She says, stop the straight-up dismissal of someone because they're an atheist. That's bullshit. And I completely agree with that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's, again, going to the whole thing about the more people that are out there, regardless of whether or not you guys believe one thing or believe a different thing politically, right? When it comes to the whole God, when it comes to the whole God claim, there needs to be more people on all sides saying, hey, I'm an atheist, this is normal. Just like, and you know, we've been making slow headway. But people in the LGBT community have been able to do that. They've been able to make their voices heard, and a lot of people now are seeing like their granddaughter come out, or like their fucking dad, or whatever, right? So it's or their coworker, or what have you, and it doesn't change who the person is, right? So we need that same kind of thing to happen with atheists and skeptics. We need to have everybody know that, like, hey, it's not a fucking big deal, right? Yep. Like, and it shouldn't be. Not believing in a God should be the most natural thing in the world, because technically it is the most natural thing in the world. You have to actively try to believe in a God. Right. So,
you're convinced into believing it for bad reasons.
Well, almost more importantly, though, what we really need to do is, get back to what this country was actually based on, which is secularism, and have whenever religion or what you believe in is brought up, saying, shut the hell up. It doesn't matter what I believe. Yeah. I'm here to do a job. This is what I plan to do with the job. What I believe is irrelevant.
I wish these people would do that. If these people who, because we are predominantly Christian here in this country, like 79%, which is dropping steadily. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was a lot higher, but it's going down.
Well, it is slightly pie in the sky to wish and hope for everybody to be put onto like the same footing for whatever reason. People are always going to have their natural biases for whatever reason it is. And even if we were to completely destigmatize the word atheist from like our vocabulary, there's going to be another thing that people are going to hate on people for, right? So. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, it doesn't really change the fact that anything is going to be. The whole point is that needs to be a non-issue, and right now it seems like it is, again, political suicide, and you just can't do it. So.
Yeah, it does need to be a non-issue.
Gullible you are. Sold you have been. Garbage it is. Garbage!
I love that clip. One of the things is, speaking of Australia, which was mentioned there in the chat room there, is that in Australia they have got the census that came out back in 2001. They said, put down your religion. As a joke, a good portion of the people were putting down Judaism as their religion. And for some reason, this is caught on. It's kind of a joke religion, just like the flying spaghetti monster or things like that. The problem is, Judaism is now making Australia look like that they are actually more religious than they actually are. And it's turning out to be kind of a headache for the people and for the atheist community down there, because they want the numbers to show that, hey, I'm not any religion. And even if, let's just say you do believe in Judaism, which most people, I would imagine, really actually don't, you're upping these numbers for religion, showing that you have more numbers, people who believe in things. They've got a campaign going on right now to ask people, instead of marking yourself down as a Jedi, just put yourself down as no religion or none, as it were. So this way we can show that the people out there, that the country is not as religious as they actually think it is. Tom, your thoughts?
Well, people need to understand that Jediism, or the flying spaghetti monster, or several of these things that are considered religion, even Buddhism, they are all basically atheism. They don't believe in a God. They don't believe in a deity. Even atheists believe in crazy things.
Yeah, they can.
I mean, so just saying you believe in something doesn't mean you believe in a God. I mean, it should be, a lot of these, so-called beliefs should be labeled specifically as a form of atheism. I mean, if you've got like 7,000 versions of Christianity, then we can have a few versions of atheism. You could be a Jedi atheist, a Buddhist atheist, a flying spaghetti monster atheist. They just need to properly label these things. I mean, if you got Protestant and Lutheran and Baptist and Mormon for Christians, then atheists should be able to have several labels.
Yeah. Paul Marshall from the chat room says, "Down with midichlorians." What the hell is that?
My midichlorian count to 17
anymore. It's not even a thing anymore. They wrote that shit out.
Didn't JJ basically make like episodes 1 through 3 not canon?
Yeah.
Well, they're like, yeah, it sort of happened, something like that. Maybe, who knows? Don't worry, don't talk about it.
Flashback episode.
Paul, your thoughts?
I agree in principle with the thing about not marking yourself as Jedi.
Yeah.
In part because of the thing that I read in this article here is that they don't recognize the response Jedi officially, so they tally it as undefined.
Yeah.
So for the purposes of the census, you know, if they don't have a predefined box for, let's say, Quaker,
that's the one with the oaths on it, right?
Quakers and Jedis get counted together as undefined, which is like you don't understand how to deal with data,
right?
It should be a two-tier question. It should be number 1: do you believe in God, or do you not believe in a God? And 2, what would you label it?
Yeah,
because believing in God can be like thousands of different things, but not believing in God can be a few different things.
I think they tried to make it as uniform as possible, because if they give them more choices, then they just don't know how to, like Paul said, they don't know how to deal with all the data, and they just like, this is going to take us way longer because now everybody's got 10,000 versions of their belief in God. I mean, I believe my dog is God. I believe my cat is God. You know, people put down all kinds of shit. It's like, how do you quantify all that shit? Then?
So basically, they look religious because they're lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, they're taking the joke too far. And, you know, one of the things that I ran into when I was joining the Navy back in 1991, was that, you know, you're filling out these reams and reams of paperwork. And one of the things, you know, they've got this emergency form that you've got to put in all this information, like your contact information and your blood type and what religion you are, so that if you die, they give you the proper kind of service. And in 1991, atheist was not an option.
Yeah.
The option available was no religious preference.
Yeah.
And I made a stink about it. I mean, ultimately, I just put no religious preference and signed the paper because I realized if I really made a stink about it, they just wouldn't take me. But I bitched. I put up a fight. And they were like, no, we don't recognize that as a legitimate thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So it's like, how can you, what, how?
How? I'd like to know that myself. How?
Yeah, of course, now you can get an atheist headstone in Arlington National Cemetery.
Nice. But it's a shape of a cross, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's something else. But
no, it's an upside down cross. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta stay with the theme, you know.
It's just a
post.
You
can get a Wiccan headstone. You can get an atheist headstone. Yeah, things have changed a lot since I went in.
Is that the headstone's invisible, right?
The atheist one is Satan eating a baby.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's the one I want.
Yeah, it's the A inside an atom symbol.
Oh, okay.
Fancy.
Is carved into the is carved into the stone.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is a cool ass emblem.
Yes, I agree.
I'd be very happy with that.
You're gonna have a symbol.
Blows the sign off a lopsided plus sign.
Yeah, it does. Aaron, your thoughts?
Yeah, you know what? Well, first of all, I was just wondering, do you know if they ever changed that law in the Navy, or that bit? Does it now say that?
Yeah, you can now say atheist.
You can now. Oh, okay, well, that's really good.
Yeah.
See, at least
show up on your dog tags and everything.
So you can actually see the kind of progress, right?
Yeah, there's some progress.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's super good. And you know what? I agree with Packard at the beginning when you were saying that it does cause a lot of problems classifying yourself as Jedi, because, it does end up messing around with a lot of the laws that end up being passed, right? So if the majority of people are classified as religious, then that can affect the way that they do city planning and stuff like that. So I don't exactly know what the repercussions of that would be, but it not necessarily could be beneficial, especially if the majority of people are secular or non-religious.
Yeah.
But my biggest problem with this whole thing is that it's just a big ball of the Streisand effect. And where basically, as soon as you start talking about something, it ends up, as soon as you tell people not to do something, it ends up making it so much more appealing for everybody to do it. So now that they've made a stink about Jedi being classified as a religion, now everybody is going to be calling themselves Jedi, even if they weren't before. And even to compile things on top of that is now with The Force Awakens that just came out and Rogue One and all the other Star Wars movies that are going to be coming out, now you're going to have people that were going to be saying that they were Jedi anyway. And you know what? A lot of those people, they are totally full of shit when they talk about being Jedi. But I actually did a video around Christmas that talked about the Jedi religion. And there are actually people that fucking believe that shit, man. Yep. It's just like Poe's lie. Like, you pick the craziest thing, somebody out there is going to believe it.
Right.
You know, Aaron. Actually, if the rest of you other guys don't mind, I have a question for you, Aaron, about Canada. Canada's a member of the UK, right?
No.
Still, no,
not necessarily. We're a sovereign nation, but we also have the Queen on our money and a lot of stuff to do with like the courts and everything like that. It's always Court of Queen's Bench and stuff.
Oh, okay. When are you gonna kick that bitch off the bill?
Hey,
I'm just kidding.
Put somebody really put another cultural icon on the bill, like Ryan Reynolds or Aaron Sharp.
There you go.
I think William Shatner.
William Shatner.
Put Charles Darwin on there.
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked was that, of course, in England, the Church of England is the official religion, and the Queen is the head of the church. So, I thought Canada still had a significant affiliation with England or with the UK.
Yeah, we do.
And Australia, I thought still did. Which, if you're taking a census and you're trying to find out what the religious composition of the population is, and you have these undefined these Jedi folks, Jedi respondents being tallied as undefined. Does that work in the favor of the Church of England, or does that work against the Church of England?
Well, I guess it could possibly be really both. I would say more or less like towards the favor of the Church of England, but that's really making assumptions where I have absolutely no knowledge. Like I don't barely know anything about politics in the UK. And I don't really know a whole lot about Canadian politics either because it's kind of boring.
Sweet.
American politics is where it's at, man. Dude, like they got into a fight and one guy said to the other one presidential candidate said to the other presidential candidate that he has a tiny pecker. Am I going to watch that or a couple of guys arguing about moose? I
politely arguing about moose.
Right.
We cannot forget that.
I have a moose eating fucking grass in my backyard right now. I could push him over. I don't care about moose. I want to see the dude with the tiny hands go attack the chick with the evil horns that's possibly a reptile. I want to see that's Monday Night Raw shit right there, man.
I want to see you push over the moose.
I do too. I want to see.
Oh, I will.
Send me a picture. Send me some video of that moose eating, and I'll put it up on my screen. Maybe next week.
I'm gonna have to ask him for permission first.
Well,
whole thing.
Well,
he has to sign a waiver.
Yeah, you have to sign a waiver.
Moose don't get waivers. They eat them.
That's it.
Damn you, moose!
Damn you, moose! We're a squirrel.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. But that trick never works. This time for sure. Presto!
Wrong hat.
Sorry, Rock.
Hey, Rocky, do you want to see me pull a squirrel out of my ass?
It's a brown one.
It's the Onion Radio News.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Theft is always a bad thing. I mean, in the context of you going into somebody else's house to rob them, and then because the economy has been kind of shit for a lot of people right now, overall the economy is well, but I mean, for some people it's still not quite there yet. So we have people breaking into places. And places like Tennessee, for example, which are not really known for their being incredibly bright. I mean, Ken Ham, sorry.
Thought he was in Kentucky.
Kentucky, Kentucky.
Same thing.
The same thing, yeah. And with those two areas are really close to each other.
Paddle faster, I hear banjo music.
Yeah. A couple down in Tennessee, in Clarksville, had broken into someone's home while they were at work, which does happen because, that's where people keep their stuff. And they took it immediately to the nearest pawn shop. And while they're at that pawn shop, the guy's like, this stuff looks awfully familiar. So he went home to check on his house and discovered that someone had broken in. Turns out the people who had broken into his house were at his own pawn shop. How is that for coincidence? They apparently tried to pawn 2 PlayStation video systems, the controllers, video games, and DVDs, and the property was valued at more than $1,000.
This looks vaguely familiar.
Yes, and the people who did this, their names are
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Jeremy Allen Watts, 30, and Jessica Faye.
There they are.
Hetty, 24.
Hetty, yeah, Faye Hetty.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, that's some good planning from her mother. Just saying.
Yeah. That's Headley.
Headley.
It's Headley.
Whilst I will be risking an almost certain Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
I had to watch that tonight.
They were both charged with aggravated burglary. Wouldn't all burglary be kind of aggravated? I mean, just saying. And both are held on $50,000 bond. Yeah.
So there is annoying battery, so.
There's dead battery.
I'm so aggravated.
There's dead battery.
I've been burgled. This is so aggravating.
It is.
Heavens to Murgatroyd. I've been burgled.
Tom, your thoughts?
I'm like super frustrated.
I'm old. No, actually, this reminds me of another story of somebody who robbed an apartment, and the person who got robbed found the person who stole like a video camera or saw it like on eBay, and she went to buy the camera that she knew was hers, and she called the police to basically pick up the guy when he came to drop off the camera.
Nice.
It's just an odd situation to. I mean, what are the chances? What are the chances you can rob somebody and then take it to the guy to pawn it?
Yeah. And the fact he was actually the owner of the pawn shop. I've pawned stuff before, and they take your thumbprint, and they check to make sure if there's serial numbers on it, make sure it's not listed as stolen, and they have to hold it for about 60 days or so to make sure that there's no police reports come out on it. So.
Yeah, we just gotten all the guy's information.
Yeah.
And have him basically sign like, yes, this is mine. Yep. I own it.
Yep. And then, you have to show ID and everything, too, so. It's not easy. It's not like the old, you see on TV or the movies like, yeah, I'm going to go to this sketchy pawn guy and just like, hey, you want to buy this VCR?
I mean, the owner of the pawn shop should have like agreed to give the guy money. It's like, but I need to hold on to it. Come tomorrow, and you'll get the money. And then tomorrow, you have the cops there waiting for him in the back room.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time.
To be honest, I've known a couple of pawn shops that were not opposed to making a few dirty deals.
Yeah.
Paul, your thoughts?
I can't get past the fact that this took place in Clarksville, Tennessee. Because now all I have is Mickey Dolenz singing Take the Last Train to Clarksville.
I was just thinking that, actually.
Me too.
Take the last train to Clarksville.
That's the one.
The last pawn in Clarksville.
The depth, width and breadth of the stupidity that's on offer here boggles my mind. I can't understand how it is that, I mean, have they never been in a pawn shop before? Is this their first theft? Are these people, I mean, have they just repeated blunt traumas to the head? How could they not know that they're... Never mind the owner of the pawn shop that they went into. What an amazing coincidence is the person they stole the stuff from. That these items could be traced.
Yes.
Yes, don't they know that's what Craigslist is for? Besides, hooking up with.
Wait a minute. Let me write that down.
Glory holes.
Hooking up on Craigslist. Okay.
Glory holes.
I'll have to try that later.
Woof.
Aaron, your thoughts?
Yeah, man, like, here's the thing. Criminals are not fucking smart, all right? Like, I know, like, I've grown up in, like, rougher neighborhoods or whatever, and I've been around lots of criminals in my day, and they're not fucking smart. Like, a little while back, there's that story going around about how some criminal mugger dude got a hold of Pokemon Go and was setting up lures for to get people over there so that he could mug them or whatever.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that, people doing that.
And everybody's like, oh man, like like that's really smart. Like as soon as it came out, they were able to figure that out. No, they didn't. They fucking lucked on that shit. I know they did. There's no way they didn't. The criminals are not fucking smart. You always think whenever you're thinking criminals, you're like, oh, Ocean's 11, stuff like that. No, man. When you're thinking criminals, like you're thinking of like some desperate motherfucker who needs to get some money, and they did something super stupid and they didn't think about it. And most of the time, they're whacked out on drugs or some kind of thing like that.
Yeah.
So of course they're gonna end up making stupid ass moves just like this. And if you live in a small town like me, there's only like a few pawn shops right in town.
Yeah.
So if you rob anybody and then go bring it to a pawn shop, everybody's going to know that it was that it was stolen like immediately.
Right.
Right. So yeah, like these guys, they're fucking retarded. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you stealing? You stealing your shit and then you bring it into a pawn shop? Why don't you bring it to Kijiji or something like that? You know?
Criminal translates into not
what
smart
they
enough
should
to
have
hold
done
the job.
is they should have rented a white van and sold the merchandise out of the back of the van.
Yeah, that's always on the up and up. I see people spelling stuff with a white van. It's like, you want to buy this VCR?
We're not trying to explain to you how to do crime, but let me explain to you for a second how to do crime.
Yes.
You get yourself a white van, you put a bunch of VCRs, DVD players in the back, right? And you drive around and you ask people on the street if they want to buy some. That's how I did it. I mean, how friends of mine did it back in the day.
You put on the side, VCRs for sale in big, bright red letters.
Yeah, that's not a no. You don't listen. That is a bad idea.
No, you put candy on the side. I'm sorry, you put
candy on the side.
Yeah, a windowless van offering candy.
That's always fun.
And Pokemons.
There you go, right?
Forms. My day is complete.
There you go, right on the side. Pokemon in here.
Yeah. That's just wrong on so many levels.
Find Pikachu here.
Welcome to the show, Paul.
That is MGRO wrong. That's how wrong that is. Oh, did I break Packard?
You broke the Packard.
You'll blast twice with these amazing candies.
Yes. Okay.
Are you enjoying these Pokemon puns?
I'm enjoying the Pokemon puns to death.
Okay. Electrifying. It's an electrifying experience.
Yes, it is. And tonight we have our funny tweet, and that comes from I am Del Freaky. That's I am DLFREAKY. And they say, everybody at the party got upset when baby Jesus turned the wine into breast milk.
It's still funny.
That's just a Mad Lib. That doesn't count.
I can't remember the last time I was like drinking wine. I was like, oh shit, breast milk. Where's Jesus? Jesus? Baby Jesus must be nearby.
Mary, will you get this kid under control? Oy vey.
We're trying to have a party over here, and Jesus is turning all the wine into breast milk.
Well, you know what? It was only Manischewitz.
I was just going to say that.
Evilness says in the chat room, women are the cows of people.
So for most random shit.
That's very random.
I suppose, kind of.
Yeah. So anyway,
I do not necessarily endorse that statement, but I don't necessarily say that it's like wrong.
I neither deny or confirm that.
Biologically, specifically, and the giving of milk, then I suppose then you. God damn it! See, now we made this weird.
Oh. Wait. Apparently, there was a reference we missed.
Yeah, apparently there's a reference. I have no idea what it is. Is it from a movie or something? I don't know. I might have to look that up later. So anyway,
I got a pretty funny tweet the other day.
What's that?
You want me to read it?
Sure.
It says, "Fuck you."
I've had that tweet.
That has never appeared on Twitter before.
Right.
No? I think I'm the first one to get that.
That's so deep, man. I'm just like, I'm amazed at how deep that was.
I was perplexed. I was like, well, I can't fucking argue with that. I kind of agree with the statement.
Exactly.
It was like the time I got to go fuck yourself. I was like, okay, I'm not doing anything better right now. Thanks for the advice.
Oh, it's from Malcolm in the Middle, you guys. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've not seen all of Malcolm in the Middle. I do apologize. That's why I didn't recognize the reference. I have not seen every episode, so I've seen a few
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or more.
Yeah.
Like 15 years ago.
Yeah. So it's a very old show. I have not seen every episode, so that's the reason why I didn't recognize the reference.
Of course, we did recognize the Blazing Saddle reference.
Yeah.
If you didn't recognize that Blazing Saddles reference, then you need to have your whatever card removed immediately. your man-child comic book nerd card immediately revoked.
Yeah. You should all know this one from that movie. Where are all the white women at? So that's the best line from the movie.
No, I still like Candy Grab for Mongo. Candy Grab for Mongo.
Candy Grab.
Mongo.
Mongo like candy. Sign, please.
Alrighty. Well, we do got to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for helping out.
Get out of here. We just got here.
Yeah, I know. We just got here. It seems like it, didn't it? But we do have to stop. Tom, I want to thank you for your helping us out, and Paul as well, because it took two guys to fill in for one person. And it's a woman. So Connie, you guys are filling in for Connie. So it just goes to show how much effort she puts into the show. So anyway, Tom, where can they find your channel?
Well, lucky for me, you can just look for Tom Leeds, and I will pop up. But Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, or Tom the Atheist On, will surely find their way to me.
Right. And Paul, I know you're not really making any content right now, but they could still watch your channel from in the past.
Yeah. There's 7 years of back catalog there to dig through. The channel is youtube.com/newsundies. There's also a companion website, newsundies.com. I'm on Twitter as @newsundies, although I don't tweet all that often, and I'm also on Facebook, facebook.com/newsundies.
Yeah. And Aaron, where can they find your channel? And again, thank you for being on with us tonight.
Anytime. I had already given you all of my information, but I never turned down a shameless plug.
Plug away.
You can find me at youtube.com/deadheadanimation. You can also follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, and come to my house, knock on my door, and have coffee with me anytime you want.
And look at the moose.
And look at the moose.
And look at my moose.
And look at my moose.
He's not my moose. I mean, he always says, like, you don't own me. So.
Right. I was going to say, nothing sexual about that at all. Just come and look at my moose.
Much like my moose.
You want to come over and see my moose?
See my moose and my beaver.
I got to remember that pickup line now. I'm just like, I go on the bar.
If you
like,
show me your beaver, I'll show you my moose.
Yeah.
I also got a pair of boobies. If you
Callback.
That bites, you sicko.
That's comedy professionalism right there.
Oh yeah.
The mark of a true professional.
Right.
I understand the callback.
Just say Cucamonga and you got it nailed.
There you go.
Oh.
All right. We'll be back next week with our regular short show. Until then, this has been Packard Pokes At. We just poked at your news.
And that's a wrap.